before I get this started, let's go check this out. You see this? Just no, impossible. It doesn't deserve that grade. Hey guys and girls, welcome back to the Gubz channel. Today we're going to be reviewing Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Or at least Batman v Superman for 10 minutes, then Dawn of Justice for the rest. Now this review is going to be spoiler filled, so yeah, watch out. First, let's start with the things that I like. Ben Affleck killed it as Bruce Wayne / Batman. He was one of the best things of that movie. From the get-go, I wasn't one of the naysayers that was all like, well, maybe he might mess up as Bruce Wayne. Nah, I was always part of it ever since. But yeah, when he was first announced, I was one of the handful of people that actually thought he was going to be a good Bruce Wayne. I mean, just comparing these two pictures, the dude looks exactly like Bruce Wayne. Another plus in the movie was Alfred. The dude can be your father. I know some people would disagree, but I think he's a better Alfred than Michael Caine ever was. Not to say that Michael Caine wasn't any good. I mean, Michael Caine was great, but Jeremy Irons, whew. Gee Willikers, man, that guy can act. Henry Cavill, though many still question him, I still like him as Superman. I mean, he may not be the most iconic actor to portray him, but he does the job right, and he doesn't disappoint in this film for me. Gal Gadot was amazing as Wonder Woman. Amy Adams as Lois Lane is good, but she wasn't really given much to do in this film. In fact, she was always the damsel in distress. Maybe 2, 3, 1,000 times in this film. Yeah. Poor Lois. But oh my gosh, the fight scenes, they were so, oh man. The fight scenes were so incredible. Batman fighting Superman, whoa. It was like every nerd's dreams. It wasn't just Batman and Superman's fight scene that made this movie look beautiful. It was also Batman's one Arkham fighting scene shown in the trailer. Literally, this is the most brutal and flexible Batman we've ever seen. We also got a few glimpses of the other Justice League members. More on them, though, later. So this movie is just gorgeous all around, but this is where it ends. I mean, now going to the bad. What happened here? This movie had so much potential. I'm not saying that DC dropped the ball. I mean, they didn't at all. They did a decent job, but they tried to cram so much into this movie. There were so many things that were unnecessary in the movie, and there were some things that were needed to be input. Like, for example, there was a scene when Clark Kent goes up into the mountains and sees his father. And for those of you who don't know, spoiler alert for Man of Steel. Well, this is a spoiler review. Anyways, for Man of Steel, his father died. Yeah, he got wrecked by a tornado. So he imagines he sees his dad in the top of the mountain, and he starts communicating with his father, you know, deceased and all. The ultimate message of the whole scene is that Clark misses his dad. Really? Clark misses his dad. Why? Look, I'm not trying to look like a jackass, but everyone would miss their dad if they were dead, alright? It's nice and all to touch up on that to sort of relate to Superman more, but it was totally unnecessary for this movie. It did not fit at all with what they were trying to go with. Speaking of unnecessary scenes, remember how I said the rest of the Justice League showed up? Yeah, well, I'm kinda a little indefinite on that, so let me elaborate. In one of his nightmares, Batman is seen fighting Superman's slaves as well as Darkseid's minions. The first thing you're introduced, though, in that nightmare scene is the apocalypse sign, that insignia that basically means that Darkseid is coming. Well, yes, that was a cool nod and foreshadow of Darkseid to show up later in the Justice League. I don't think any average Joe would have known who or what the hell that was supposed to mean. Which begs the question that, why was there a bunch of random scenes included in here? They tried so hard to pay too much homage to the original comic book origins that they forgot to make a good movie. And right after that nightmare scene, Ben Affleck, Batman, wakes up, only to find out that he's in another dream, but this time, is it really a dream? The Flash visits him in some sort of Flashpoint paradox reference, in which practically 0.001% of the audience actually got. So the Flash visits Batman and says, Bruce Wayne, you were right, Batman. Lois Lane, she's the key. You were right about him. And then snap back to reality. Batman wakes up again from another dream within a dream. Now, as said earlier, this is a reference to Flash's paradox, as seen in one of the cartoon movies. And also, it seems to mesh together with the Injustice Gods Among Us video game storyline, where Superman is depicted as a dictator of everyone. Now that, I'm excited to see. It was nice looking at it at first, but then right after the scene played, I started thinking, am I the only one that actually understood what that was? Because think about it. Yeah, there's comic book nerds all around geeking about Batman v Superman, but to be honest, us comic book nerds, us geeks, make up 2%. 2% of the audience that goes to watch Batman v Superman. The 98%, they haven't picked up a comic book in their life. They're just interested because the most iconic superheroes of all time, Batman and Superman, are fighting. So no one would really understand what the hell that scene meant. That's the biggest complaint coming out of this movie. There was just so much unnecessary things. But on the bright side, I did like the Flash's costume. It looked a little weird at first, but I think it's growing on me. Didn't get a really good glimpse of it. The little lightning bolts on the side of his head near his ears, they're a lot bigger than what we've usually seen. It actually took me like 5 seconds to recognize, holy crap, that's the Flash. Because, you know, it was really random and it was kind of out there and lightning, bright. I couldn't see anything. Like, oh my gosh, you're killing me, Zack Snyder. The movie also gives reference to the story arc of A Death in the Family when showing the burned Robin costume with paint all over it by the Joker. I was a little disappointed that they didn't go too much into that because I was kind of wondering, are they using Dick Grayson for that or are they using the actual Jason Todd for that? I'm 90% sure it's Jason Todd, but they didn't give us any information on that. They just showed it to us like, oh, here, look, here's the Robin costume. All right, go back to the movie. It didn't really seem important important in the movie itself. But even though I was disappointed, I'm still kind of glad that they didn't go too much into that because, you know, too much going on in this movie. Yeah, moving on. The motivation behind Superman trying to get Batman was really unclear. The film focused heavily on making the audience understand why Batman was after Superman, but not the other way around. From the get-go, you see one of the Wayne buildings getting destroyed and everyone inside is basically killed. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 people make it out alive, but basically everyone is dead. And who is he held responsible? Superman, defender of Earth. But then Superman goes after Batman for the sake of, you know, carrying the movie. There was really no motivation. When Batman's just chasing a few criminals, Superman just pops up out of nowhere and says, when they light your signal, don't go to the signal, the bat is dead, bury it. And then iconic line, blah blah blah, tell me do you bleed? Yeah, you will. It just didn't seem believable that Superman would just, you know, I hate you all of a sudden. And remember how I addressed the Justice League members before? Yeah, I'm gonna do it again for the 3rd time this time. You see the Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman more in emails that Wonder Woman receives from Batman. It seemed a little shoehorned if you think about it. It was just videotape footage of the Flash stopping a burglary inside a liquor store, Victor Stone's creation into the Cyborg, and Aquaman awkwardly staring into the camera? I love Cyborg's videotape, I liked the Flash's videotape, but what the hell is Aquaman's, dude? Look, I don't see him as a joke character anymore. After playing Justice Gods Among Us, that dude is a spammer. That guy can kick ass. But for real, in this movie, he slowly swims towards the camera awkwardly for a good 6 seconds, and then he just takes off, breaking the sound barrier underwater. Makes sense. And the weird thing is, too, I could have pictured it a lot better. Here's how it could have went down. I'm taking too much into this information, oh my god. It's just like, it was like 8 seconds of footage. Anyways, I'm gonna speak my opinion. So the videotape starts off with cameras underwater, and they see a crashed ship, and inside the crashed ship, they zoom in, and they see green glowing eyes. Right? And it's getting closer. And as it got closer, Jason Momoa started slowing down and swimming and just stood there like... for 6 seconds, right? Like what I said before. What they could have done is, as his green eyes was disappearing as he was approaching the camera, they could have cut it off after 2 seconds of catching a glimpse of him. And then him just bursting off the sound barrier. That would have been a lot better than seeing Momoa awkwardly approaching the camera for 6 seconds. I mean, come on, guys. Why would you do this, DC? Don't do this to yourself. You're burying yourselves. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention that Superman dies twice in this film? Yeah. And guess what? He comes back to life twice in this film. Oh my god. Right before I get to too much detail on that, let's go say how it happened. So Lex Luthor, I don't think I touched up on him that much yet. Did I like him? No. I did not like the interpretation they went for Lex Luthor. I did not like how Jesse Eisenberg acted for Lex Luthor. The dude came off straight as the Riddler. I don't know why Warner Brothers casted him as Lex Luthor. The guy who is menacing. The guy who is the ultimate baddie for Superman. Never mind. I quit. Why would you do this to yourselves? Anyway, so the quirky Eisenberg just goes out and makes Doomsday because, you know, he hates God, he hates Superman. Oh look, you might as well make Superman appear as God and then smack the audience with the Jesus imagery, you know, cause God bless America. No, seriously, they shove it in your face, and when you get it the first time, they do it for another, 12 times. Anyway, so when Doomsday comes out, I was like, okay, I expected that, shown in the trailer, blah blah blah. But was the fight good? I am happy to say yes. The final fight was every nerd's dream, dude. It was a nerdgasm in there, dude. I didn't like the idea of showing Doomsday in the trailer. I didn't like the idea of Doomsday showing up at all in this movie. But it got to show the beautiful side of Superman, Batman teaming up, as well as Wonder Woman's kicking ass. As you saw in the trailer, Batman says, "Oh shit," and then Doomsday fires his laser, and blah. And then they show Wonder Woman as Batman's guardian angel. And the song they played, I was all like, yo, this totally fits of what I was feeling, bro. It was some heavy metal rock thing, and I digged it the first time. I digged it the second time. Not so much the third time, but then it caught me again on the fourth time. You know what I mean? And this final fight exceeded my expectations. I expected Doomsday to show up for only like 30 seconds, like Venom in Spider-Man 3, But no, he had an abundant amount of screen time. Granted, as I said before, I did not like how he appeared in this movie at all, but still, that was one kick-ass fight. So anyways, back to how Superman died. Superman's punching Doomsday, and Doomsday's punching Superman. They all fly to space. Superman gives one last blow, gives a headlock to Doomsday, and then, lo and behold, a nuke hits them. Yay! Oh, I mean, boo! Doomsday crash lands back to Earth, and what's this? Oh my god, Superman's still in space. And I kind of gagged at this scene. Superman was shown half alive. No, he wasn't half alive. He was basically dead. He was dead in space. Some of his skin was like torn off of him. His flesh was really dark, and it was like dried up blood or something. It was disgusting. It was green. His skin was green, dude. So he was dead. Well, for maybe 10 seconds until the sun revived him. He breathed again. His eyes turned red, and then he charged back at Doomsday back to Earth. Well, Gubz, how does he die for the second time, you ask? Well, you wouldn't be watching this if you already watched the movie, so why are you asking me? Oh yeah, I forgot. No one watches this, so I'm good. Cut after Doomsday's fight with Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman for 10 minutes. Then you get Superman driving a spear of kryptonite into the chest of Doomsday. Then Doomsday gets a grab of Superman, stabs Superman with one of his thorn disgusting things, penetrates his chest. That's what she said. And, like a boss, Superman just eats the pain and drives the spear right through him even more. And then boom, both Kryptonians fall to the ground. Then at the end of the film, you see Batman and Wonder Woman communicating, saying that they're gonna get the team together for the sake of Superman. But guess what? Superman ain't dead. Superman is Superman. Last shot of the entire movie, you see the soil on top of Superman's grave, lifting for about 1.5 seconds, and cuts to black. That was beautiful imagery, and I gotta give props to Zack Snyder for that. Also, I'd like to weigh in on my experience in the theater. I could have sworn someone told me that there was a post-credit scene at the end of the movie. But guys, there wasn't. I cried. I waited after very, very long list. And when I say long, I mean very long list of visual effects contributors. Not to say that they don't deserve credit, it's just that, really? No post-credit scene? All in all, Batman v Superman is a visually pleasing and entertaining movie, but the plot seems to be very messy and doesn't really know what it wants to do and what it wants to be at the end of the day. With lots of references to classic comics, it tried so hard to set up for the Justice League movie, and it forgot to make a good film. I'm not saying that the Batman v Superman's not a good film. I'm saying it's an alright film. If you haven't watched it already and you just watched the spoiler review, then whoops, my bad. But go watch it for yourself and judge for yourself. I'm gonna give Batman v Superman a 73%. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Alright, love you, bye!